Hi, welcome to Your Chinese Name. Today's name is going to be Vanessa, or in Mandarin, Fan Ni Sha, or in Cantonese, Wan Ne Sa. What? No. No, let's look at the meaning of the name first, and then we'll figure out what Chinese words actually work. The name first appeared in a book called Cadenus and Vanessa by this man, Jonathan Swift. He took his close friend's name, Esther van Homrij, where he rearranged the initial syllables of her first name and surname. Then Esther was changed to the diminutive Essa. But let's not just settle for the sum of its parts. Let's break it down. Van is known as a Dutch Tussenvoegsel. Okay, Dutch people, I know. I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but hey, I'm trying. The American is trying here. Cut me some slack. Okay, it means from, similar to the German von, V-O-N, but von denotes a noble status where the Dutch version doesn't. Esther is derived from the Babylonian goddess Ishtar, which is where we get the word star from. Specifically, though, it would refer to the morning star or evening star, aka Venus. It's called the morning or evening star because those are the times it's most visible to the human eye, depending on the seasons. Since van means from, and a way to denote someone is from somewhere is to use of, the Chinese word ji makes sense. Keep in mind I'm using the Cantonese pronunciation here. Now if Ishtar is where we get the word star from, we could use Sing. So we could use Ji Sing if you believe Chinese given names can be two characters, or if you believe they are composed of a middle name and a given name, you can even flip it around. But there's something that's just too simple about this. Something I just can't settle on. So let's see what other possibilities we can find. Venus, in modern day Chinese, is called the gold star or meadow star. This was a term that someone had dug up, and the only reference comes from Sima Hin's Chronicles, or CK, specifically his scrolls for celestial and astrological officials, where he found out what in his times was called the Tai Bak, or very white star. Outside of this reference and its reintroduction in modern day times, for the most part of Chinese history, they had used Tai Bak. Now, it kind of reminds me of a famous fairy tale character that everyone's known for so long that his story has been released in public domain, only to be bought up by a specific giant media company. Sounds great for a girl's name, right? Then, a Korean friend came along and proclaimed, Taebak? That sounds like a guy's name. Well, crap. Back to the drawing board. Okay, let's see what else we can do. Kaiming. No, Kaiming sounds like a dog's name. Chenggang. No, Changgyong sounds like you're calling someone old. No. Hey. Let's do a bit of review. Vanessa equals Van of plus Essa, Esther, which is from Ishtar, where we get the English word star from, but Ishtar was the goddess in reference to the planet Venus, which people once thought were the morning and evening stars. Now the Chinese call it the gold star. Without making it sound like some sort of home appliance manufacturer, I still want to look at the other term that Chinese had used for a much longer time. Tai Bak. How do we make this not sound like a guy's name? It is a planet. But to the naked eye, the layman made it into a star. So what can we get out of the word? If you look at the word, it actually was originally written like this. The bottom part was used for its sound, while the top part actually meant crystal, as in stars are like crystals in the night sky that sparkle. Now, if you think about the word white, another word for that is this one right here, so in Cantonese, which means pure or clean, which is then extended to qualities of the color white. And in Korean also sounds like su, as in sujong, which is a homophone for crystal. So if your name is Vanessa, you can use Xingji or Ji-Xing as your name. And if your name is Esther, or if you're a Vanessa who wants to use the main component of your name from which it derives, you can use Soujing or Suzhong for your name in Chinese. Thanks for watching.